TERRA Classic Steering Committee. A proposal. First things first, this is offered as a foundation, a structure on which we can build. I have made similar suggestions over the past couple of years, and noted the objections both valid and arbitrary. I believe this particular iteration serves the intended purpose, while alleviating concerns of centralization or gatekeeping. Though there will invariably be objections and/or concerns, I hope they will be offered for the purpose of fine-tuning and efficacy, not obstructionism. As of late, this community has in some ways coalesced, and there is a greater spirit of cooperation. Absolute unity, though, remains elusive, and this has been one of the largest detriments to TERRA Classic revitalization efforts for the past couple years. This proposal aims to put an end to that and refocus our efforts toward a singular waypoint. Every fork in the road lessens our chances of reaching the same destination. DJ Trev, the proposal. I propose the formation of a group of qualified and trusted individuals that would help keep TERRA Classic on a singular path to growth and success. This group would serve as advisors and would be elected to their positions by community vote. We should decide on 1 or 2 people to fill certain positions of expertise on the committee. That is, L1, L2, marketing, validators, etc. For the purpose of this proposal, I am going to call them the TERRA Classic Steering Committee, TCSC. As an official advisory board, this group would have several tasks, including but not limited to: devise over time a comprehensive plan of action encompassing all developmental aspects roadmap, stay abreast of any and all ideas, proposals on Commonwealth and elsewhere, offer an official opinion as to what proposals would work in conjunction with proposed TCSC roadmap, and what proposals would work against. Work to facilitate cooperation and collaboration of various individuals and/or teams working on similar projects, and advise on official TCSC roadmap objectives, making every effort to keep focus on staying on mission. Provide unbiased reporting regarding who is making efforts to follow the guidance of the TCSC and who is not to the community. Another possible function of this committee could be to represent the chain in official communications with project leaders looking to build on TC or various other inquiries, and coordinate with chain developers. The matter of compensated or volunteer positions is something to hash out. My initial thought is that there should be compensation, taking into account there is no coding or developing or actual building expected of this committee. I do not believe compensation should be exorbitant. They will be expected to devise a comprehensive plan, and interact with the community in a guidance advisory role, and so should receive something for their efforts. Compensation would also encourage cooperation with the committee in as far as, if we are paying them for guidance, we would be remiss to not follow their advice. Since it will be a duty of the committee to give a thumbs up or thumbs down stamp of approval on any proposals or ideas for the chain, it is my assumption that developers will be prompted to work within TCSC proposed roadmap guidelines, while at the same time showing respect for the wishes of the community who chose them. Election. Though implementation of a TERRA Classic Steering Committee can only come about via governance vote, the election of committee members should be done by other means. This will negate the possibility of an unfair election process due to validator voting power or collusion. It is imperative that we do our level best to assure everyone's vote has equal weight. I understand there are several applications for voting that can be used on X. However, there has been issues with the amount of times one person can vote with said apps. I would propose that after a requisite CA campaigning period, a simple poll on X might suffice. We could conduct several elimination round polls over the course of a week depending on how many applicants, until we narrow down to the person or two with the highest amount of votes in the predetermined areas of expertise. I understand this is also not a foolproof method, but I believe it far less likely that someone creates 100 different accounts in an attempt to sway the election. I'm open to other ideas. I further propose that elections should be held every 6 months. Any individual wishing to challenge a particular committee member for their position could make that formal announcement and campaign for it prior to the new election. Any incumbent member who is not challenged will simply maintain their position for the next 6-month period, should they so choose. In the event of a renegade committee member who is deemed to either be acting in bad faith or negligent to their duties, a vote of no confidence by the other committee members can be called at any time. It will need to be decided whether a simple majority, 2/3 or other configuration would suffice to oust a member of the committee. These procedures should help to protect the committee and the community from members who are ultimately self-serving or easily corruptible, and that are not acting in the best interest of the community. The chain and the roadmap. Integrity of the steering committee will be integral to its success and influence. The powers that be. The TCSC would have no actual power to dictate anything. In a POS chain, it would be unenforceable and redundant to have a group that would make decisions. Governance is how things are determined for LUNC. The power of the TCSC would come from the will of the people. As an elected body, they would in effect have a mandate to determine best course of action on several fronts. Ideally, things like transactional taxes, repeg efforts, spend props, etc., would all be covered in the TCSC suggested roadmap. Of course, individuals are free to submit any proposal they wish, but the expectation is that builders and those with ideas will do their best to stay within the guidelines of the TCSC, and not attempt to subvert it. Should the community decide, through governance, that the TCSC is something they want implemented, they would be sending a message to all would-be developers and builders, that these people are trusted to determine a singular path that we wish you all to follow. The primary goal of a TCSC would be to attempt to focus efforts and move TERRA Classic in one direction. It is meant to eliminate the time wasted on passing one proposal, only to immediately see another proposal to countermand the first, and so on. This spinning of wheels and lack of singular focus and direction has kept this chain stagnant for 2.5+ years. I think we all know it. Obviously, the roadmap could and should be updated at the behest of the TCSC as ideas develop, new technologies emerge, and for compliance with an ever-changing cryptocurrency political landscape. Every effort will be made, however, to keep this train on a straight track from point A to point B, and prevent it from being derailed every time someone new wants to hit the detour switch. Definition of insanity. LUNC has a community of some very smart people. There is certainly no shortage of ideas on what the path forward should be. Unfortunately, these multitude of ideas more than often clash as very different perspectives take us on wildly different paths to potential success. Not only that, but the inherent issues of alpha-type individuals with huge egos butting heads has been cancerous. The erroneous thought that somehow, miraculously, these individuals will all coalesce and figure it all out on their own, is wishful thinking to say the least. We have, however, seen in the past that given a single objective, these bright minds can pull together and achieve great things. This is why I believe this steering committee or advisory board, or mission commission or whatever we decide to call it, would be absolutely instrumental in ushering in an atmosphere of cooperation and collaboration which could propel TERRA Classic perpetually forward. There is no scenario where everyone gets what they want. Sacrifices will have to be made both of ideology and of ego. A CEO calls his staff together for a brainstorming meeting, and listens as everyone offers a different idea on how to reach the objective. Once he determines the path, the team puts that plan into action to the best of their ability, regardless of whose idea it was. This is how you achieve, and this is what it means to be a team. Who is ready to team up and make some shit actually happen? Please, let's discuss.